How to make $500,000 per month as an expert or agency owner by simply pivoting into selling your service as an infrastructure. My name is Serge Gatari. I'm the founder of clientacquisition.io. And the purpose of this training is to walk you through how I pivoted from selling appointment setting services, commoditized growth services, into building and releasing it as a growth infrastructure into companies and making over $500,000 per month. Made my first $500,000 in a month in 2022. As you can see, we're still doing over six figures weeks. Last week, from the 24th to the 30th, we did over $200,000 in cash collected and over $250,000 in revenue. And now, the reason why I'm making this training is because I'm looking for more partners to do the same thing that I do and add them to our portfolio of companies that we're building growth infrastructures and releasing it into companies. So at the end, if this is something, if you believe that you have the experience and you have the knowledge and data into a specific niche, into growing them, and you think we can partner together and turn your service into a growth infrastructure that we can sell for multiple five figures and scale it also to $500,000 a month, then I will want you to book a call, okay? But why is this something that you should actually even pay attention to? I believe that this is the only path to guarantee a founder, a growth expert, growth consultant, growth coach to scale and experience six-figure profit months in what has become the most competitive business landscape ever, okay? Because the old models, they're broken. Done for you, agencies, it's not scalable because every time you get new clients, you end up leaving them with shittier talent, shittier contractors who aren't as great at delivering results. Therefore, as you scale, your clients' results go down, so churn goes through the roof. So now you're running around trying to get new clients month after month. That's not what we're wanting to do, okay? We want to experience true freedom. But the agency model is you literally have to stay small to make your clients happy. I don't want to be small. I want to experience true freedom. Now, the next problem with the next model is everyone going to this coaching, consulting, info products model, one to many. Well, the problem with this is you can give someone all the secrets to building a company, but most of them will not implement. Therefore, they won't see results. If they don't see results, it all goes back to you. You're the one in trouble because they're going to call you a scam. They're going to go talk to their friends and peers, and they're going to ask you for a refund. So now you're going to go out of business like every other guru 3 years later, right? The only path from this is that you make a lot of money short term, but it's at the cost of your future success. You never want to sacrifice future success for today's success. Never, ever, okay? If you ever learn anything about investment, literally the way businesses and investor calculate the value of a business is discounting future cash flow. So if you're in a coaching space, an info product, you're like, hey, I made $1 million a month, but you scammed everyone because no one got results, then your future discount, like your future cash flow, it can't even be calculated. That is the problem with coaching, but most people, they don't understand it. Anyway, I don't want to get into that talk. Sorry for going on a tangent. Now, what is this idea, right? I'll actually only present this model here, and then I'll show you proof, and then I'll go straight to like what you get as a partner. I've already made a longer training that you'll probably get an email as soon as you opt in. But this model, actually, it's an insight that I got from McKinsey & Company, right? They're the largest, I believe the largest consulting firm today. They're doing $15 billion a year in revenue. They were also on the old model. They were selling one-off packages, 3 to 4 month packages, and they were selling advice and soft asset deliverables, okay? And they were always chasing new clients. 70-80% of their business came from new packages, new contracts. And since they were only focusing on advice and soft asset deliverables, their clients weren't necessarily getting the best results, okay? And in 2008, they shifted into something called hard asset-based consulting. And the idea here is, let me zoom in a little bit, is you go into a business, okay? And you solve for the how. So you give them the how, the process, the methodology, the protocol on how to solve their problem. But you also implement and build and release an infrastructure that implements on their behalf the methodology. So it's not just I solved how, I also go all the way and make it inevitable for you not to experience the outcome because I'm going to build an infrastructure that implements the advice. In their case, they do it through software. Okay? They come in, they pair advice and their judgment with hard asset like software. Okay? And this has transformed their business into 70% recurring. Imagine having a $15 billion a year business where 70% of that income is recurring. It is an amazing organization. There's so much to learn from these companies, right? Oh, by the way, they're 100 years old, okay? So they're not a guru who started selling Facebook ad. They've been around for a long time. But how is it possible that they're able to make 70% of it recurring? Well, the idea here is, if I come into your business and I build and release an infrastructure, well, you're going to need help managing it or optimizing it. So I get you on management, right? But it's a leveraged solution because for their behalf, in this case, they get paid for software, which doesn't incur any incremental time on their behalf. So it's not like as they scale, they have to hire more people, a bunch of people, right? They're selling data and insights, right? Front end, methodology and an infrastructure to implement the protocol. Back end, you retain on data, software, or community. In our case, in our world, we leverage community, data, and insights primarily, okay? So you can literally have a front-end model, front-end offer that generates $5 to $10 million a year, and on the back end, make $5 million in cash flow, recurring revenue, like it's nothing, okay? Now, I accidentally applied this model, and it changed my life, right? I made my first $10,000 a month running an appointment setting agency in 2021, specifically in January. I stopped the done for you a few months later to go into building and releasing growth infrastructures into companies, into my clients' companies. And I made, 2 years later, I was making 600 grand a month, right? I don't know many people who've achieved this outcome. Literally making your first 10K a month and 2 years later, making your first 600 grand a month and over $250,000 in cash profit and over 400 grand in profit. Like it's not I mean, I'm not saying I'm the smartest person, but I just got lucky and figured out something, right? Now we've applied this in different niches. Coaches, Oliver was struggling selling commoditized coaching for agencies, lead gen agencies, helping them scale, was stuck at 30K per month. We're like, hey, build and release growth infrastructures into these agencies, businesses. He sold 6, made 70K. Wyatt came selling $500 AI integration. We turned it into an AI growth infrastructure. At 16 years old, is making $52,000 a week. Let me repeat that. 16-year-old, $52,000 a week. And he dropped out of school. I think he deserved it. Okay. Contractor, we applied into contractor. Steve selling coaching programs and then retainers, lead gen services to these manufacturing businesses. I was like, hey, stop that. Build and release this growth infrastructure. He got paid 25K up front, 10K a month on management, making 32K in the first 6 days of the month. We applied into SaaS. Lois was struggling selling growth services to SaaS businesses because it's literally becoming commoditized, and instead started building and releasing, started selling it for $64,000, $12K up front, more payment of 14K wires, all that. Email marketing, we applied this into email marketing for brands. Retention marketing is super hard to sell to brands, e-com brands, right? But we're able to Abyssus, one of our partners, was able to turn it into a growth infrastructure and position it as something he build and release, and then get paid on the contribution of the system. Was able to get brands to pay him 9.5K up front. Alex selling to coaches. We know how coaching coaches are broke, but he was able to go to them and be like, hey, here's the growth infrastructure you need to scale your coaching business. It's $15,000, 7.5K up front. The bank was rejecting the payment because it was too high for that client. Mo, this is not a client. This is just a friend of a partner who learned about the idea of building and releasing growth infrastructures. And he was like, you know what? I'm already scaling my own brands to 8 figures. What if I took the growth protocol that I'm leveraging and go just sell it to other people? Made a tweet, and 3 days later, guys, collected $35,000. He was selling 10K each growth infrastructure. And he messaged me like, hey, we should talk because I just made $35,000, right? And he believes we could scale it to 6 figures. And just to kind of like almost end this with the proof, Gurveer and Adam, there are some of our new partners in the Legion space. They were struggling to sell Legion services to restaurant for £500, for £500 a month. And the first sales call they booked trying to sell this growth infrastructure, the restaurant owner agreed for $11,000, 1.11k, almost $12,000. Like, that's insane. To be able to collect this amount of money from a restaurant is impressive, right? Content people. It is getting so commoditized. It is insane, right? Miro was capped at 5 clients, working with a few short form content clients and then long form. And he was like, you know what? Let me try building and releasing these content infrastructures instead of selling my time and having to hire a bunch of editors and manage a bunch of stuff. And he sold 13K upfront deal and 2K management to an insurance firm too. Not a coach, not someone online, to an insurance company, right? And then once he saw the potential, he was like, "Hey, I wanna partner with you guys so we can ramp this up to like right now." Okay. Now, just briefly, this is the reason why I want to share this with you guys, so you guys understand what's happening. Is we're experiencing the greatest level of competition in the industry. Prospects are infinitely more educated and have plenty of choices to solve their problems, forcing us service providers to compete with each other and have to lower our prices. So literally in the next year, even with AI coming, nobody's going to be making money in the growth space because this AI is going to be able to do your job better than you. So why would someone pay you thousands of dollars when there is an AI at a click of a button that can do better media buying, that can do better content editing? So the idea is we need to position ourselves as the people who will build and integrate these new infrastructures into companies and not the people who do the work. Okay? Growth is starting to be infinitely more expensive. Everyone is advertising. Everyone is booking calls. Show rate is infinitely lower, right? Deals are harder to close because people have already bought what you're trying to sell them. You're no different. How many times is a broker going to buy Legion services? How many times is a solar agent company going to buy Legion or appointment setting services from agencies, right? Being another growth agency consultant is not the path to wealth creation anymore. But I realized it a bit sooner. Like I showed you guys. By the way, once you see this, you'll probably not want to go back to running your business the way you were running it, okay? Because I personally wouldn't. Why would I keep making what I was making here? When I was running my appointment setting agency, I was making 30 grand a month. I was the year before I was making 30 grand a year. But after kind of like quitting my 30K a year job and going down this path, I was happy. Yay, I'm making 30K a month. Wow, I'm so proud. But I didn't get in this game to only make 30 grand a month, right? And be a slave to my business, right? Because this is what happens with traditional agencies. You're selling a commoditized service, therefore you're forced to charge low ticket prices. When you charge low ticket prices, you can't afford talent to help your clients get amazing results. Therefore, you're just always churning, running after new clients after month after month, month after month. And you're never really getting rich. You're just getting somewhat like happy. You're like, okay, well, I'm making 5-10 grand a month. Well, that's nice, I guess. But you're not like experiencing exponential growth and true freedom because of the high churn, because of the low retainers. And your operation, because you can't afford talent, you're the one managing it. I was tired of having to be the slave in my business. Every single thing had to come to me, right? Today, it's 1 p.m. and I haven't even talked to anyone. And, we have hundreds of clients, okay? So I personally decided to shut down my business. I couldn't go info, like I told you. I didn't just want to sacrifice future cash flow for today's money. I didn't want to go the growth partner. I don't believe in the idea of having to only rely on 3 to 5 businesses to make most of your money. Because if you know anything about acquiring businesses, you should know that there is this idea of customer concentration risk. You don't want to rely on just 3 to 5 clients. Because who would buy that business where, okay, if you lost one client, you lost 25% of your revenue? That I didn't want to. I didn't want to rely on a business. So I needed something that I can go to the market and have undeniable value, something that they cannot compare me to anyone else. I needed something that allows me to charge high upfront money, that is highly profitable upfront, because that allows me to reinvest in acquisition and be more aggressive. I needed something that allows me to handle 50 new clients per month, high ticket clients, and with the potential to make $1 million a month. right? So then I came up with this growth creator flywheel. I would build and release a bunch of growth infrastructures, charge a lot of money, afford better talent than me, and retain these clients, because clients who get results want to stay around. Clients who do not get results want to leave, okay? And the outcome, like I showed you guys, we went from charging $1,500 a month to 15 grand, 10 grand, easy. And 4 months after launching this, I made my first 6-figure month with $76,000 profit. Like I told you guys, January of 2021 was my first 10K month. November was my first 6-figure month with 76K in profit. This is not possible if I would have stayed doing the done for you stuff. It would have probably taken me 2 years to make 100 grand a month, right? But 2 years later, or from 10K to my first $500,000, it took me 24 months. When most people take like 22 or 3 years to make their first 50K a month, I generated my first $500,000 in a month and $250,000 in profit in a single month. And life changes. I was able to move into this office. I call it an office, but it's a penthouse. It's where I live. And it makes me feel like Batman. And now, I'm not trying to show you guys flex on all the lifestyle, but I just want to show you guys what's possible when you actually change the model, okay? Now, I don't want to bore you guys with the whole process on how to actually make this pivot. Instead, if this is something you want to apply, right? If you want to go to this idea of moving, instead of selling your time and your team's time and having to sell a bunch of new people who don't get results, especially if you're in the coaching, consulting space, if you want to go into more of this idea of building a methodology, a protocol, and then building and releasing an infrastructure into that business that applies, that implements that insight on behalf of your clients, and then retaining them on data, insight, and maybe software and community access, then I want you to book a call, right? My goal is really simple. We're going to come into your business and we're going to revamp everything. We're going to revamp your value proposition, your value creation, pick a new market segment for you to target, change your pricing structure. Then we're going into actually designing your whole offer, just like Gym Launch did it in the gym niche. Instead of just being a local lead gen agency that does appointment setting for gyms, Hormozy was like, hey, let me actually go and solve their offer, their lead gen system, their appointment setting system, sales system, and fulfillment. And that's how I was able to charge 16 grand to people who are only making like 30K a year profit from a gym, right? Do you know how hard it is to sell someone who makes 30K a year, 16 grand product? It is pretty expensive. But if you show them that it's something that makes it inevitable for them not to bridge this gap, then they will buy it all day long. That's how I was making 50K, 500K a month selling these for 15K. I wasn't selling it to people who are millionaires. I was selling it to people who are making 10 grand, sometimes less, sometimes 50 grand a month, and they were happy to pay it. Once we dial in your value proposition, we'll actually go ahead and build out your acquisition infrastructure, okay? Value funnel, dialing infrastructure, closing infrastructure. Once we dial in your acquisition, then we dial in your fulfillment. Onboarding infrastructure, clarity infrastructure, the implement and release protocol that we leverage to handle 10 new clients per week. Once we're done with that, then we'll get into focusing on your brand. I believe today, in today's day and age, if you do not have content and branding and a personal brand, you're not going to make any money. I promise you. I promise you. Why? Because it allowed me to make my first $1 million in 90 days from just $7,000 in ad spend. Do you know how hard it is to spend 7 grand and make $1 million back? It is actually almost impossible unless you're selling drugs, I guess, right? But I was selling growth services, competing with infinite amount of people. I'm not the only person who's trying to grow companies. There's infinite amount of competition, but I promise you, they weren't experienced this type of returns, okay? So what we do is for all of our partners, we actually help you build a brand. I did it on YouTube. What we do is we build a brand on YouTube, then we use a community to own the attention instead of leaving it on YouTube, Facebook, or Instagram, or Twitter, or X. And then we use demonstration assets in that community to slowly nurture and convert them into the highest value clients and get them at the lowest cost of acquisition, right? The next thing we're going to do is, actually, let me show you this idea. This is where this model gets exciting, because I showed you how to kind of like retain people, right? So let's say you build and release 25 new infrastructures per month. So you get 20 new clients a month. Let's say after a year, you have over 250 businesses. Well, when you have worked with 250 businesses, you access something called insights and data. Well, a lot of the businesses that worked with you would love to know what's performing for the best clients that you work with. So you sell them back the data on a monthly basis on what's working best, whether that be the offers, the positioning, the creatives, the ads, the systems, everything, right? And they pay just a fraction of the cost of what it actually takes to acquire those data. That's how you retain them. So maybe the first front end offer brings you 100 grand, $500,000 a month. The back end brings you an extra 6 figures, but it's recurring. You don't have to do any work. You don't have to hire more people because you're selling data and information. It's something that has zero marginal cost of replication. It doesn't cost me for this video to be seen by 1 million people or 1 billion people. It's the same cost to me. It's just this 20-30 minute that I'm sitting down here, okay? But look at where it becomes even more interesting. Once you retain these people, these founders, now you're building a pool of businesses and founders that are serious about scaling. Once you have access to this pool, it becomes lead flow for an even greater business model, business vehicle, which is private equity. You can now start acquiring your clients. So imagine being a growth creator for SaaS businesses. You help them build their growth infrastructure and you build a pool of 500 SaaS founders. Well, you can be like, hey, I like this founder. I like their product. Let me acquire them. Maybe spend $500,000, acquire 50% of the business and scale them to the next run, right? That is the idea. So we build growth infrastructures at scale. It's our scalable front end. We retain them on data and insights, and then we acquire these businesses or partner with them, which is what we're doing for us right now. We're at this level here where we're actually partnering up with businesses. As they grow, we grow. Okay? And that's really it. That's what Gym Launch did. They had their front end offer solving all the problems for that gym, but they were retaining them on 32K, $3,000 to $100 per month. And they had 500 gyms that had been successful in their front end infrastructure offer. And they had over $500 paying them $3,000 a month. That's over $1 million, $1.6 million in monthly recurring revenue. You're never going to do this unless your front end offer is the most beautiful thing that solves the gap for your clients. Okay. And that's what took him from a 26-year-old that just lost everything to making $3 million in 6 months. And 12 months later, $17 million in profit. Do you know how crazy this transformation is? $17 million after losing it all in a single year is amazing, right? Like I told you guys, the main reason why I'm making this is literally I'm looking for more people in new verticals that I can apply and partner with to go ahead and get more market share, because I'm already in a pretty competitive market. And I believe that if I went into more verticals and applied what we've built, I think we can actually build a portfolio of 25 companies in 25 different verticals that we can scale to $5 to $10 million each in the next 36 months. That would represent a portfolio of companies doing $125 million to $250,000 a year in revenue, applying the same playbook, accessing the same data and assets that I've leveraged and that I've built over the last 20 months to make over $7 million in the last 7 months. Okay. But in order for me to do that, I need you. I need someone who's a smart founder, who have great depth, insights, and processes, and who's acquired data from scaling companies in your respective niche. Okay? If you're tired of playing small, constantly working harder, only to stay in the same position and to be treated as a commodity, and you're ready for real growth, here's my offer. Come and let my team turn your commoditized business into a multiple 7-figure growth firm, leveraged growth firm in the next 6 to 12 months by applying the models that I walk you through. Okay. You're going to get access to, I have a payroll of $2 million a year. I spend over 200 grand a month in payroll. We have hundreds of partners, no, not partners, but we have acquired data from building and releasing over 800 growth infrastructures in the last 24 months. So we have acquired a lot of data on what it takes to scale these businesses. Okay. and you're going to get access to systems, talent, all these things, right? We've built so many things, data, access to talent. You're going to get access to talent pools. You're going to get access to our media buying protocol. Our team has scaled different multiple companies to $3 to $5 million a month. You're going to get access to our appointment setting infrastructure. You're going to get access to the sales playbook. I literally paid 6 figures to a sales consultant that Jim Lunch hired last year to come in and build our sales playbook for our partners. These are the wires. Okay, I spent a lot of money. Could have bought that supercar on my screen, to be honest. But I also get access to a webinar infrastructure. If you want to make $250,000 in a week as a partner, we're going to help you do that. 500K a month systems. You're going to get access to financial systems, right? As a partner, we're actually coming in, and because as you grow, we grow, so we need to track all the revenue in your business. So actually come in and implement our 500K a month financial trackers, and access network. It's priceless. You're going to be literally surrounded by other founders who are building and releasing growth infrastructures in all these niches. And the most beautiful thing, though, is that the top partners, I get a lot of lead flow. So like last year, I was in Cape Town, and a 400K a month SaaS wanted to work with us to get to $20 million in 2024. And I would have kind of like sent that deal to one of the partners who's maybe selling growth infrastructure in the SaaS space, right? So that's one of the things that's beautiful. Okay, as I said, 200K a month growth payroll, you're going to get access to it. And we also have a yearly retreat for our partners that we do every single year. So if you jump in, summer is coming up, so maybe we can meet up in person. So this is over $250,000 worth of assets and systems that we actually, and data that we give to our partners as they work with us. And right now we're opening up for the first time this year the opportunity to vet and onboard the 5 new partners for this quarter. Okay, if you end up booking a call and maybe it's too late and we've already kind of like filled up the list, you may be put on a wait list, but you can book a call right here and actually speak with my growth advisor. Okay, and they'll qualify you, figure out what niche you're in, see if you have the experience that we need, see if you have a specific niche, see if you have case studies, see if you have capital to invest in your growth infrastructure, and make sure that you actually want to be taking home at least $100,000, $250,000 in profit in the next 12 months. Because if you're not trying to do this, then it's probably not best for us to actually work together, because there's no point in us partnering up together if you're not going to be scaling past multiple 6 figures per month. Okay. I believe once the word is out that we're onboarding new partners, we'll get flooded with appointments and we'll be forced to cancel 50% of all the bookings. Like last time when we launched it, this was after canceling 50% of the calls. We were still booked up. So please make time, make it a priority to book a call right now. If you we end up canceling your call and you end up being unqualified, which will be majority of the founders we speak with, you'll receive invitation to our $49 Natural Born Leader community, $49 a week. Well, you get access to 10 hours worth of content, 178-page doc to apply this model yourself, just like a lot of people are doing. Chris is now pushing a YouTube growth infrastructure, sold it for $10,000 and 20% profit on deal to a real estate investment company. So guys, this works amazing in every single niche. That's why I'm like, I need to get into more verticals. I can't just stay in this service online business space. I want to go sell to all the other verticals, but I need an operator. I need a leader for every single company that would end up for every single vertical. I need you as a partner. If you'd like to work with me and you have what it takes, of course, this is not for someone who's like starting out, no experience, no knowledge. But if you have what it takes, a little bit of experience, and you have data and you've seen how to scale a specific niche, book a call. Speak with my team. You have nothing to lose. And if you're not qualified, join the Natural Born Leader community and just learn and apply yourself. Thank you so much for watching this, and I hope this was valuable, and I hope we get to dominate. But come, let's make a few millions, and let's take care of the people we love. And every summer or every winter, let's just go share a glass of wine, watching a sunset, and talking about how this little video changed your life. Appreciate you. Bye-bye.